Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Listen to Your Parents podcast. I'm your old pal, Matt. It's been a few weeks, but we're happy to be back here. Thanks to Sorgatron Media for pushing all the buttons. Check out sorgatronmedia.com for more links to our podcast and all the other fine podcasts that they're pushing out. Let's meet tonight's guests. Let's see how many guests are still left. Doug is here. Doug and his reliable internet connection is here. Hello, Doug.
Hello. It's because I'm so close to downtown, I just tap into the matrix.
Yeah. And Adam will be along shortly. We had him a second ago. He's got a fuzzy connection. How you doing, Adam?
I'm here, hopefully. Hopefully that continues. How you doing, guys?
All right. What's up? I don't know how far away you are. We're all in Pittsburgh, but it feels like Adam is on the other side of the world tonight. So, anyway, this is the the time of the year where we just gotta kick back, pop up in a cold one, kind of relax, vent a little bit about things going on as we cope with pandemics, life, school, all the other fun stuff. So let me just kind of let's go around the horn real quick and just kind of see where everything stands as far as the education of our children right now. I'll start with myself real quick. As we mentioned in a past episode, we are doing this hybrid model in our district, the old, half the week in school, half the week at home. For one of our kids, he's actually going to be in school all week, but be that as it may, we are in the middle, basically, of the first week of classes. We started on Monday. It's been all online for the start of the school year, kind of a chance to get them into the loop. Starting this coming Monday, the kids are going to start going back to school. They will both be getting on a bus or a van and going to school. And my house will be child-free for the first time in I don't know how long. So that's where I'm at. Waiting for Monday. Doug, where do things stand for you?
I am waiting for another week and a half, I think. We go back right after the holiday, and they were supposed to start back today, and it got pushed because there was a few other things they had to finalize. And my kids are going back to the school because I so want to celebrate just like you were right now. I want their butts out of here so it could be, even if it's for a couple of days, just of peace and quiet. I'd be happy with that. So yes, they're going back. I think they're riding a bus. We haven't gotten the official word on busing situations. I'm fine driving them because it's, I'm work from home until further notice, which is at least 2021, I've heard. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm ready to ship their butts back, but we're set up and ready for online learning should it happen.
Yeah. I should clarify here on our end too. Our youngest, we're planning to drive him to school every day. But our older child, he likes the van, so he'll be riding the van. Doesn't sound too dangerous.
Last year we did the van
these
thing.
things. I spit out these words after these decisions have been made, and when I say the words, I'm like, it shouldn't be too bad. And I'm like, that sounds ridiculous. That's not right. Anyway. Hopefully it works out. Let's not get too distracted. Adam, how are things going on your end?
As far as the school thing goes, our district is starting full virtual this week, alphabetically, and each day. I think from Monday, from Tuesday through Friday, a handful of kids each day will go. So our kids' day was yesterday, so they went for the day. You met their teacher, got their iPads, all their books for the year. You should have felt their backpacks when we picked them up. Holy crap, they were full. So, we've got, the boys are set up in our living room. We wall mounted one of the TVs. They're going to do their Zoom stuff on the TV and there. We got our daughter set up with a nice desk in her room, so she'll be doing her stuff up there. And they say our district has 5-week reviews, so we'll be full virtual for at least 5 weeks. They'll reevaluate. They may go to hybrid to be the next step if they think it's safe. But no decisions have been made beyond. We've got 5 weeks of virtual, and then we'll reevaluate. So, but when our kids do go, we will drive them. It's literally 3 minutes door to door from our house to the school, so it's stupid to send them on the bus if we don't have to,
Right.
much as we'd like to. This year we figure why, if you can be safe with anything, just be safe. So, we're just going to drive them to and from this year when and if they do go. And I mean, they're fine. They wore their masks. They were happy and excited. So, day one, meeting their teachers was a success, I guess. So we'll see how the virtual stuff goes when we get into it on Monday.
Yeah, I was amazed how excited my youngest was to have that first day where our district set it up, at least on this first, I guess, official kind of day of classes, which was a Tuesday, and they sent out basically like a class schedule, which was like 8:55. This Google meeting, this then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and my youngest is not the most he had a hard time kind of focusing on the task at hand whenever we were going through the homeschooling at the end of last school year. But we kind of had a different setup for him this year. We had he has a desk in his bedroom, and his bedroom's pretty remarkably sparse to see. And he just parked it there, and he just was really interested in sitting there and listening to the teacher and seeing the other kids. And I was really amazed at how kind of focused and excited he was to just be seeing, something resembling a normal classroom situation.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're offering the live instruction. That's a big. We're glad about that. We had the online academy, I guess, but it obviously wouldn't be you wouldn't get the interaction aspect of it. So we thought, because if they do go, we want them to know their classroom spaces, at least on Zoom meeting, and also with online academy. Once everybody goes back in the classroom and we missed the boat, so we full virtual option, and hopefully it goes well.
Doug, what do you think? What are you feeling from your kids right now? What are they craving getting back to school as much as you're craving them going back to school?
They miss their friends. We do have sports going on right now. Well, we have practices because we're not allowed to start sports until I think the 8th of September or somewhere around that time. So we've had practices, which I have to give the coaches so much credit for this, because they've been able to maintain the whole social distancing throughout this. They had pods set up for their sports. And yeah, it's been amazing to watch. Like the kids are very respectful. The kids do it better than most adults. They're just like, I got to do what? Stand 6 feet? All right. Like they don't even question. They're like, all right, sure, I'll do that. If it means I got to play a sport, then whatever I got to do, tell me what I got to do. And actually, the parents that have gone to these things, so we're not allowed to watch practices, which before we would just, all the parents would kind of get together and just kind of hang out and talk. But now, most of us sit by our cars. We sit, we're like 6 feet apart from each other. Everyone's got a mask on just in case. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to see people again, I should say, because I haven't seen like my coworkers since March. I've had very little interaction with other adults besides my family, my immediate family. So seeing some friends of ours was really, it's very therapeutic in a way. We're not going around high-fiving and hugging each other, but it's just good to be able to actually talk to other parents and hang out, which has been really good. So yeah, the kids are ready to go back. They've been FaceTiming all summer. But you could just tell like they're ready just to see each other.
Yeah.
Plus, I think their language will all clear up once they're not on FaceTime too.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine like that. Some of the teachers have, as I was eavesdropping on some of the Zoom calls for that my son was having on Tuesday. Some of the teachers were talking about, look, we're going to double back. In math class, we're going to double back, a little bit and make sure that the stuff that we were doing at the end of last year, you actually got that, because your idiot parents were trying to explain these concepts to you, and you probably,
because
had no idea what they were explaining to you, because your parents were teaching you math from the 1980s, and now we have math. You know how it is. It's a different monster now.
You were homeschooled by a bunch of day drinkers, is what happened at the end of last year. So. Let's recap it.
Let's not shy away from that. Yeah, we were all hammering it back there for a while. Although I gotta say, Doug, this has been a weird phenomenon. When it all started, I was aggressively stocking up on alcohol, and drinking responsibly in the comfort of my own home. But man, there were many, many nights where after the kids went to bed, it was beer o'clock. And I would have to kick back at least just to have one, just for the end of the night. But I have not had many beverages at all lately. In fact, this, straight Arnold Palmer spiked was just sitting at the bottom of my fridge, and I happened to find it because this is the last can of alcohol in my house right now, and it has been for weeks. So I don't know if that means I'm adapting or if I've given up. I don't know how to interpret this phenomenon, but here we are.
Well, I'm out. I'm officially out of beer. I ran out, I think, last weekend or maybe 2 weekends. No, it was last weekend because I went out and actually got a 6-pack. But I was worried that because of the fact that I would be home all the time, that maybe I would have one or two during the day. I actually drink less than I did before, and I think it's because I'm finding other things to preoccupy my time with. Like I've actually been reading more. In my cup tonight, this is just water in here. Sorry, it's gin that I'm drinking in here tonight.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much for stick with the gimmick.
It's Pittsburgh's finest.
Yeah.
H2O that's in there. But it's even other friends of mine have said, they're like, what, we were worried that we heard all these stories about parents are going to go stir crazy and they're going to just start binging and it's going to be a terrible thing. And most of us were like, no, I should say and not to get generational, but most of the Gen Xers have taken this in stride and have gone, yeah, all right, we'll figure it out.
That's a good thing. I'm glad you brought that up because I did notice that fun article that you posted about the Gen Xers, and I've seen this joke. You and me, man, we're cut from the same tiny slice of history, and there is there is an advantage to being a Gen Xer at a time like this because
we're so used to hear, the whole time growing up, all we heard was that we were slackers and you'll never do anything. And meanwhile, we basically created all the stuff that you're dealing with today. Well, we refined it, made it better. But no, it's. I think it's just the whole mentality of Gen X was always just like, yeah, all right, well, we got crapped on again. Let's just roll with it, and let's figure it out. And other generations are like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? It's not exactly as we wanted it to be. So who knows what's gonna happen? But I think Gen X definitely takes it more in stride than anyone, just because we're like, all right, we'll figure it out. Complaining about it doesn't do anything. We're the voices of reason. Oh God, what we said we would never become, in our 20s.
Yeah, forget about that. We're just like,
it's gone.
Yeah, it's a lot of you guys handle this, and then we got older. And we're like, where's that next generation? You guys get up here. Let's go.
We'll figure this stuff out.
Sorry if we had another little tech glitch right there. That's on me. I had a little hiccup, so I'm just gonna jump over the old reliable iPhone here for a second. I think the internet has completely devoured Adam, which is a real shame.
There he is.
I think I'm here now.
Oh, he's back.
I'm here now. I hope I'm here.
Well, at least I can hear you now.
I can see him.
Yeah, at least I can hear you. I was getting choppy in and out. I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. It's interesting, but I can't really make it out.
Well, I mean, as usually happens at a time like this, the conversation is steered away from the serious topic of education, and we went back into talking about alcohol, and
and why Gen X is awesome.
Why Gen X is awesome. So.
Well, it's true though. Like somebody posted. I forgot posted this. Someone was like, we were the latchkey generation. It was the whole, we kind of screwed and or I guess mom and dad are busy right now. Don't open the door. The whole life is just we're used to it.
Yeah. I know exactly the one you're talking about. It's like, we were the most lapse safety preparation ever to be left at home alone. It's just like, here, take the key, make yourself at home, reheat this thing in the microwave.
Reheat it and watch TV.
Reheat this thing in the microwave, watch TV, don't answer the phone, don't answer the door. Oh, and by the way, you and your friends, go on your bikes alone to... wherever you want to go.
Yeah,
we ride all over here.
Home by dinner.
Oh yeah, it was right to the ball field a mile away, surrounded by woods, and have fun coming home when the street lights are on.
Oh yeah, we would have. I can't. We're gonna real steer off on this one. I don't know exactly how old I was. I assume I was in high school at this point, maybe middle school. But just these summers where my friends and I would get on our bikes every, for like. Daily, you just take this ride down to this baseball card shop. That was there's a relic of the past for all you guys. They had these stores anyway. But we would ride down like Lebanon Church Road, like a long Lebanon Church Road on our bikes, just going down the hill to get to this baseball card shop. God, we're stupid.
Well, if you need a good card shop, there actually is a really nice one in Bethel Park now on Washington Road on 19. It's across from, when you get towards the top of the hill going into Bethel by South Hills Village, like a street before it. It's, if I showed you it on, I'd be like, I know right where that's at.
Yeah.
Hey, it's over there where that thing used to be.
Just to explain to me. You just got to go around there.
It's where the Uncommon Market used to
be. Down there where the hills was.
Okay.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous card shop, and the guy who runs it, I've talked to him a few times. He has a lot of autographed pictures and jerseys from like movies that we would have watched, like Major League, Hoosiers.
Oh man, that's
like, yeah. I saw that. I'm like, dude, I'll just give you my paychecks. Like, I want all of this right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's got a lot of that kind of stuff in there, which it's fun to go to. My kids like going to it. Yeah.
Yeah, my son has accumulated some baseball and football cards and whatnot, but I would not say that he is collecting yet. My youngest, he's just kind of he has amassed them. He's the one who's into sports, so they just kind of gravitate toward him. This is how it kind of happens, Anyway, on the topic of the children, since I'm talking about my youngest, I should mention my oldest. This is quite a turn of events but not at all unexpected. So Halloween is over 2 months away. And my oldest child, who's 13 and loves Halloween more than anything, basically, it is the number one holiday. He got into the bins and he just like went to town. He's like, it's time. We're putting this stuff out in the front yard. So we got some. It's the end of August. There's styrofoam.
90 degrees outside.
It's 90 degrees outside. There are styrofoam tombstones in my front yard. And other assorted stuff. I mean, on the inside, it's lovely. God help the neighbors. Just thinking about having to look at all this stuff. And but hey, you know what? I mean, apparently the Spirit Halloween that's near our house is going to be opening soon. So once that store opens, I no longer have to feel guilty about all the Halloween decorations out on my front lawn, because once that store opens, it's opening day basically for the Halloween decorations.
I did hear they were coming back this year.
Yeah, I'm glad they came back. I was very much concerned that they were going to just punt this entire year. But no, Spirit Halloween is back.
Oh yeah,
they are ready to sell you everything you need to celebrate Halloween from the comfort of your own home. I don't know what to say about how it's going to go exactly for trick or treat. I've been preparing my kids. I'm preparing my kids already for no trick or treating. Just like it might be a little bit different, those little bits of talks. It's just so absurd. It's like 2 months away, over 2 months away, but here we are.
So where are they going to fit the Spirit? Because it used to go in the Toys R Us, like in Bethel, and that's now the Dick's Sporting Goods clearance, and the Toys R Us out by you guys is leveled, remodeled-ish.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work on it.
Yeah, our UPMC took it over. And they're turning it, and there was so much excitement. People were like, what's this Toys R Us going to be turned into? Yeah. And it's a UPMC outpatient facility, and everyone's like,
right.
Lame.
Wait, so is it like them and Allegheny Health are trying to see how many of these things that they can build around here? Kind of like when all the pharmacies started popping up all over the place.
They're trying to amass as much medical care along Route 51 in the South Hills as possible.
Well, they kind of need
AHN just built a brand new emergency room mini hospital right out in McCandless Crossing. It's a brand new building. I've heard it's nice. Yeah, my sister was in there, I don't know, maybe a week ago, and said it was, for my mom and my sister, it was really nice. So, but it's funny, the Toys R Us out in Cranberry, when it closed last year, that was a Spirit Halloween store. So, quite a big one, obviously. Going into an old Toys R Us, that was quite massive. Oh, it was massive. They didn't use all the space, though. They had some curtained off sections, but yeah, it was still pretty big. It was hardcore.
I realize now I didn't even answer your question, Doug, but the Spirit Halloween down in Pleasant Hills, in the South Hills of Pittsburgh, is occupying not the entire former Kmart along Route 51 near the Permane Brothers. It is occupying only the garden section of the former Kmart along Route 51, which is a smart play because it would feel uncomfortably expansive inside of the entire vacant Kmart. But yes, only the garden section.
I forget which place. The reason why I know exactly where that is every time that I've gone down that way out towards West Newton, there's always a sign up for somebody having like a crab leg special. Like I forget which place it is now, and it's killing me because I always went, that is like an odd thing to have. Like a bar is having like a crab leg special. Like
the Baltimore House, but
it wasn't Baltimore House. I no, well, not that one. No, right on 50. I just remember seeing that, and every time I went, that's an odd place to have like a crab leg sale. And then I'm thinking, maybe the place is out of business, and that was just the last sign on it. Because everything's going out of business.
It's
Kmart goes away, and the whole economy tanks.
Well, look, it's just another casualty. We lost the last linchpin of the. We're losing the last linchpin of the old Century 3 Mall, the JCPenney, that stood and remained open months longer than the mall itself. The mall was shut down and condemned months, probably nearly a year ago now at this point. The JCPenney lived on like a limb that keeps moving on a dead body. And
but how did people get to it? Because there were potholes like the size of cars.
You know what? If you want to go to JCPenney, you got to commit, Doug. And
I go to the north.
you go north. Well, you don't.
If
you
I
don't
want
can be going
JCPenney.
south anymore. This JCPenney is toast. It's being shut down, and now we'll see what happens to the former Century 3 Mall, a gigantic mall. Look it up.
We should have blown that thing up in Stranger Things 2 or 3 or whatever. I don't even. My seasons are all crossing. We need to blow it up though. We need a good like theatrical.
We need like a Three Rivers Stadium type of implosion for the Century 3 Mall. I think it's earned it.
Yeah, because we need fireworks at 8 o'clock in the morning for something.
Definitely. Go back upstairs. I got running interference here. I'm not helping you. No, sir. I think it's time for you to go to bed. Okay.
He wants to know
Fantastic.
more about these things called shopping malls.
What are
Daddy.
these things called shopping malls, Daddy? Well, that's where we went before the internet.
You mean you went into stores and bought things?
Yeah, like a bunch of losers.
No, we just hung out at the smoke pits at the Mill Creek Mall. That's all.
Well, that sounds
Yes,
fun too. Up in
people
Erie.
used to smoke in public in the mall.
Oh, crazy times. Crazy times. Well,
I think your wife was down there a few times.
I'm sure my wife like probably has a bench named after her at the Mill Creek Mall. So it's a monument to all her contributions over the year. So anyway, I feel like we're getting close to the time where we need to wrap things up here. I don't want to hold you guys for too long. And apparently now I have a child I have to drag off to bed here. It is a school night, as you know. That line is back in play. It's nice to have that tool back in the toolbox when you're forcing your kids to do stuff, right?
So what have you been doing for haircuts for the kids since school started?
We just did a straight up trip to the Great Clips.
Nice.
For the last one, which was sort of interesting and sort of normal feeling also. But they basically, you as you do, you always check in online before you go to the Great Clips so you don't run into that 90-minute wait for the Great Clips.
And you got to get your stylist.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then you get in there and they have, all the chairs in the former waiting area, they're gone. There's nowhere to sit. You want to sit on the floor. And basically they make people, they turn the outside into the waiting room. They're like, oh, you're up in 5 minutes. You can wait in your car. We'll come out and tap on your window. Why don't you go ask your mother? Great. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I don't even know where I was at. What was I talking about? The Great Clips?
You were tailgating outside the Great Clips.
You tailgate outside the Great Clips while you wait for the stylist to come out and like point at you. Come on, you're in. All right, let's go. So then you get in there.
Hold on, I need another cigarette.
Yeah, but first I'm going out back. Yeah. And then from there on out, it's pretty typical. You wear your mask, you get your hair cut, as you do. It worked out. Why do you ask? What was your last haircut experience?
Well,
has there been a haircut experience?
There has. We've gone to Sport Clips, and they've done a fantastic job. And the only reason why I do that voice for Great Clips is the last time I went to one, that's exactly what happened. Is I was sitting at the chair, and this lady goes, "Who's next? Are you? Hold on, I need to go get a cigarette." And I'm like, I'm here for a $5 haircut. I don't know if I want one right now. I will give Great Clips credit. I have had haircuts from them and they were fine, but it's that my last experience there was this lady, like she looked old as dirt. It was just like, I gotta go get a cigarette. I'll be right back. I'm like, yeah. Now you're gonna put your fingers in my hair.
I know.
But we go to Sport Clips. Theirs turned out fine, but I have not had one since March.
Great.
Which is the longest mine's been since high school, like just after high school. I have if you remember former Bucco pitcher Jim Gott from the 1980s, 1988. I'm getting the curls going in the back, and it's it's been interesting. I don't like having long hair again. Like now, back in my younger days when I had hair down to like here in the 90s, yeah, it was great. But now I'm like, shit's getting my face. Like, come on.
I'm sure I've complained about this on this podcast before, but I will get my hair cut, and so usually in sync with the boys. It just works easier that way. You all get your hair cut at the same time. The time will come for the boys to go and get their hair cut again. It's time for the boys to get their hair cut again. All right, and I'll check my hair and I'll be like, I don't really have much going on up here. It's really stalling, and so you get afraid to go too short. But it's time probably.
Well, I need a new license photo, so I figured that I want to get the craziest COVID hair that I can. So eventually I'll say, yeah, I had that done during COVID, and nobody will question it. They'll be like, oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, no one will be like, nice picture.
My wife just did mine, and does the boys' stuff too. So we haven't had to worry about haircuts. COVID always done it. So
yeah,
in that sense.
The thought has crossed my mind to just grab the clippers and just go, get the Adam special and just bzz, it'll work. It'll get me through.
I had that once before and I loved it. I'm afraid mine won't grow back if I do it.
I have the same fear. I'm at least not looking forward to the long wait.
See, my thing is, I have like really thick hair, so the first great, but then once it starts coming in, I still have to, even though it's real short, I still have to maintain it. About 6, I'm like, honey, it's driving me nuts because I don't want to do it. So, and so once you go, you kind of once you actually go back to normal. So,
right.
Yeah. There's been a few times, like after I get out of the shower, I look at my hair and I could see like my scalp, and I'm going, if this comes off, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to come back.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Meanwhile, the rest of this, though, is just driving me nuts.
Yeah, I think I took the plunge on this when I was maybe mid-late 20s, and I haven't gone back because I'm just like, I've done it now. If I try to grow it back out, I might never, ever be able to look in the mirror again, so...
It's a risk.
I reminded my wife of like, remember when I used to play hockey and I had that gorgeous hockey hair?
The flow.
She's like, no, don't, no, you're not 21. I'm like, yeah, but it was like great because I had the hat down and the long curls, and she's like, no, you're twice the age you were then. No. Fine. So now we joke that it's Daddy's got his hockey hair on.
It's scary when you get to the point where you can go, you're twice the age. Well, you did something that twice the age seems like it was literally yesterday. You remember it today, and it's like, wow, my battle now.
Yeah.
I was an adult then, and then now twice that age.
But you're a Gen Xer, so you don't really care about it. You just it's cool, whatever.
Right.
Well, I do have to say that since today is not the date the episode, but since it is the 27th of August, and being a Gen Xer theme, that on this date in 1991, Pearl Jam 10 came out.
Oh man, that is quite a monument.
Followed about 5 years later with No Code, which is one of my favorite CDs.
Excellent.
That can make you feel old.
I was I don't know why this happened. Well, I do know why this happened, but the point is that I was getting nostalgic for music from back when I was in college. I realized that it was not the true grunge era. It was post-grunge. Post-grunge music, especially when we were back in college, Adam, was very interesting because the record labels were just trying anything. So this month we're gonna get ska over, and this month we're gonna get
remember those things.
Electronic, let's go with this.
Roommate freshman year got really into this ska album, and he would blast these songs all afternoon. I'd be like, okay, when is this over? I mean, wow. Yeah, I remember the ska craze. That lasted about what, 3 months.
For some
Yeah,
of us,
the
it never
whole.
ended, but yeah, you're right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
whole
It did
alternative.
not have a run on top.
Yeah.
Post grunge is.
It was a confusing time.
It was a very confusing time.
The alternative era, you could call it. But there were some good bands that came out of that I still listen to. I still have some compilations, a couple of albums that I have that I really enjoy. So.
I mean, you never really let go of those the handful of bands that you get hooked on whenever you're in college and whatnot. You just like these are my guys for now, forever.
We actually went out to
sure.
dinner the other night, and we went to BJ's out in Bethel, and all the music that was playing, my wife kept saying, "This is an eerie song. This is an eerie song." I thought I'm like, yeah, this is like between 96 and 98. And I realized it must have been like somebody's playlist because, you had like One Headlight played, and then there was Counting Blue Card, and it was just like, or listen, I'm like, it's another song from that era. Like, somebody trying to tell us something? Do we know somebody here? And they're trying to like make us reminisce. It was
You're gonna
weird, like
look
BJ's of all
this,
places.
like, restaurant, and someone's just gonna turn to you and like tip his hat.
Well, my oldest was with us. My youngest was at practice. My oldest was with us, and he started going on about it. I'm like, no, stop. We're having a moment. Yep. Life before kids, 90s. All right, now you can talk. What do you want?
That's pretty funny. The other day, I made my youngest listen to the Beastie Boys,
Nice.
Intergalactic, for the first time. I was he's just
Oh,
like,
wow.
what is he gave this very like the slightest window of an opening, some sort of conversation. I'm like, you know what? Stop everything. Listen to this song right now. Sit down. That was it.
That's a great idea. I need to get them to listen to some of that because a lot of the music that they have now is sampled music from the 90s and there's some 80s stuff. But I hear the kids saying quotes that are like terms from, I guess they're watching them on TikTok. I'm like, whoa, no. I go, where'd you hear that? He goes, oh, some kid on TikTok. I'm like, no, this is my era is not coming into TikTok. We are not doing this because you guys are ruining it. Because you're sampling it, you're doing all of your modifications to it. No, you need to listen to like the actual recordings of this music. And Beastie Boys is a great suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's funny? It's
fun, for the kids.
Yeah.
So it kind of works.
It's one of the many things Back to the Future Part 2 got eerily right was that the 80s would still be big in the early 21st century. I mean, there's, go on Facebook, there's 80stees.com or something. It's nothing but 1980s movies, T-shirts, and, cartoon T-shirts and all kinds of stuff. And they're expensive as hell. There's a couple of them I'd love to get, but I'm not spending $50 for one T-shirt. I'm sorry.
You ready to go?
They do have some cool stuff. It's cool. It's nice to window shop, but they're way too expensive.
Oh, it stopped. Wait, where'd it go? There it goes. Now my flux is flexing.
I love it.
My flux capacitor.
I mean, that's the nice part about being, of this generation is because, like, the first, 3 or 4 years of the 90s were just more 80s. It's just, it just kind of leaked into it. And then things changed. And then here we are. Anyway, I feel like we're starting to run out of time. I know I'm starting to run out of battery life. So before we run off, we should ask both of you for some words of wisdom. And I think I always ask Adam to do it first. So I think I should ask Doug to do it first.
Oh.
Sounds good.
Well, all right. So keeping with our theme, Matt.
Yes.
Your future hasn't been written yet.
Mm.
No one's has. Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one, Marty.
What are you? Doug's speaking wisdom here.
I have words of wisdom.
No, go to bed. Okay. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Adam?
Well, I will stay with the 80s, and I will stay with that same movie series, because one of my favorite quotes also comes out of it, which is, if you put your mind to it, you can't accomplish anything. And I think it's very appropriate in these times. If you put your mind to it, you can get through this. We've made it this far. as I do this podcast periodically, I'm always glad to see that none of us seem to have lost our grip on sanity. So let's that. I think, as always, just put your mind to being positive and just tackling it one day, one step at a time. And, if you make it through, so will the kids. And that's the bottom line, is that you want to get the kids through this, healthy and happy and hopefully somewhat sane. So we made it, 5? We're over into COVID life. Really, if you really count March as the real beginning of, oh crap, this is a real thing. So we made it this far. Now school start. Keeping along.
Yeah, and just to circle back on one of the themes of this episode. Hey, you know what? If you're feeling stressed, if you feel like you're going to freak out, just consult the nearest GenXer that you have nearby. Get into their circle, and you will learn to, I don't want to say not care, but maybe care a little bit less.
Our music's much better.
And learn that our music was much better. Post-grunge deserves your attention. And now it is time for us to make like a tree and get out of here. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Mr. Sorg, on the ones and twos. Listen to your parents. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you very much. Subscribe, rate, you know the drill. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.